Alright, welcome to episode 13 of History Rewritten. What's if History Rewritten? Wow, that's crazy. No. So last time we saw more expansion into Asia, so we saw Japan being discovered. We saw a big druidic country over here fall apart, and that red one in India get destroyed by the Lime team. It was kind of becoming a bit of a bully now. Just, give me land. Speaking of Lime Team, they will be expanding further north into the plains that are north of this area. Of course, you've got like the Himalayas right up here. They're not going that far though. They do not want to deal with the mountain. I can't shore apparently. So yeah, the Lime Team is definitely becoming a pretty huge world power. They're how strong? I did the power rankings last time, and then I've completely forgotten about it. So, that really tells you I'm good at this. It's red, purple, blue, blue country, Crimea, orange country, I think. I think this one's like 8th, after the brownish one in Caucasia. But yeah, the Lime King is now pretty strong. And they have lots of influence, as they do so much trade, with the Orange team, who's a pretty strong country. They're like number 5 at the moment. So yeah, however, their economic growth isn't that amazing, and it looks highly possible that they could be jousted out of their number 5 spot quite soon. Who knows? It's like, Crimea overtook them. So did the purple and everyone else, but oh well. The green team, who has been actually growing economically recently, will be taking some land over here, just north of this Iranian country. So go green team. It went badly when they lost their entire Eastern Empire thing. However, oh god. However, they're making a comeback now, and it wasn't too amazing because literally everyone realized that they weren't going to keep the entire Empire thing intact. You know, having the entire Silk Road under your control would be amazing. However, we're just about approaching the year 1000. Probably not even there quite yet. Like the late 900s in sort of technology. So they're definitely not strong enough to command that much land. Anyway, Iranian country will expand a bit. They've been doing pretty much nothing. The economic growth hasn't been huge, and they are completely surrounded by really strong countries. You've got the red team, the green team, the lime team, and the orange team. So it's not fun being there. Anyway, speaking of strong countries in the world, last time I said that we were going to be making a new really strong country, and I'm going to let you guess. Where is a top 5 country going to appear from? Will it be a union between the Western Europeans, so like the British Isles, France, and Brittany? Will it be the Yellow Team coming back, the Steppes uniting, or the Sludge Team returning? Place your bets. Who's it gonna be? Alright, I suppose you've guessed by now, and obviously it is going to be Greenland. No, of course not. Sorry. It is going to be the Sludge Nation. Now, recently the Sludge Nation has been gaining more influence over the neighbouring nations who used to be part of its empire, since, the Terracotta Nation lost lots of their influence over Britain and Scandinavia, and that's meant that a few other nations have left their sphere of influence, like this Tan Nation, but also this Latvian one, and even this blue one a bit has moved away. And this brown one, because they've moved away from the old Druidic nation, which is now significantly smaller. Speaking of the Blue Nation, they're going to be suffering a rebellion. And this is all because, some people in the Blue Nation want to stay with Crimea, however, a large part of them also would like to join this sludge union thing. And that causes a huge rebellion within the country, so this area is just going to say, like, right, we're breaking away. You can't do anything about it. It takes the capital, or it really starts in the capital, because that's where there's quite a significant amount of influence. But the king did end up leaving at that time. He just left the country to go look at these southern cities. So he returns and manages to liberate the capital. However, the rest of the country will stay under the control of the rebellion. And since, a lot of these states are moving towards uniting together and forming a huge sludge union, the king of this country really just doesn't want to deal with fighting a huge Baltic nation that might be appearing pretty soon. So he's going to decide to just let it go. Now we need to rediscover what colour he was. Claiming it blue, 10 to 100. So here's his country, and here's our new rebellion one, who doesn't have a major city or a capital. So, if they were going to stay as their own independent nation, and they do stay as one for a while, their capital will be right here, around in this area. So, that's where their capital is, and they're like this for a while before these countries can all fully unite. But yeah, finally, the Union arrives, and let's get down to uniting these countries. We see, of course, the Sludge Nation, the Tan Nation, who is really under the Sludge Nation sphere of influence now, the blue one, the Latvian one, which is ruled by, it was like all the barons went in. I can't entirely remember why the Sludge Nation fell apart, other than it was just a big country. But I remember this was like a barony sort of place. And surprisingly, we also see this new rebellion country, the brown one, uniting with the Union. Last time they broke away, and they're going to become their own independent nation. However, they've discovered trade in the Baltic, especially the northern Baltic, isn't that great, at least at this point. Seeing as we got Sweden, Finland, this thing, Ingria, Druidic place doesn't trade with anyone. It's very isolated, and all the nations here are pretty poor. So, yeah, it wasn't going exactly how they planned it, and in the end, they're going to decide to go for independence. So, yeah, we have the union occur. More countries might end up joining, or at least areas from countries, like what happened with the light blue country. So this might not be the definite borders for it, but definitely this is an extremely strong and extremely large country in the Baltic. So it looks, and I forgot about the exclave. Yeah, the exclave can finally rejoin the rest of the country, and yeah, big thing now. They're also going to change the capital away from this capital, because it's not a very good idea to have your capital in the southern part of the country, because, there's a load of people everywhere else, and that means they won't be under the influence of, the king. So they will be moving their capital from this city to an entirely new city, which may not be a good idea. They've got this one here, this Latvian one, this OZ one, and then the one down here from the blue team. Might be missing a capital city. However, they're going to be putting it somewhere new, and it's right in the middle over here of the Sludge Nation. So, yeah, pretty big thing. They've got new capital. Going to change all the other capitals now, though, so that's going to be fun. Boom. Boom. Yeah. This country isn't just going to be top 5. This is now top 3, which means that it is even stronger than the blue team in Africa, who is a really capable country, and they're very strong. However, they're not strong enough compared to this one. However, the purple team is still stronger, unfortunately. Or maybe not unfortunately, probably a good thing. These guys have a few grievances with other countries. But yeah, they're back. So that's quite cool. and Eastern Europe looks very different now. You know, the Terracotta Nation is a bit scared, seeing as these guys kind of blame all the other countries which had states under the influence of... When it fell apart, areas fell under the influence of various other strong countries, so these guys don't really like the Terracotta Nation, the Yellow Nation, or the Crimean Nation, just because they were stealing their land, at least in their view. So they do have quite a few enemies. They also don't like the pink one, down in, like, Bavaria, I suppose, probably. You know, the one that recently broke away. Or this one, right here. Yeah, it's the pink country in Wales. So yeah, looks very different. Might see this country, this blue one, joining sometime soon. But who knows? Anyway, on with Scandinavia. This is technically not Scandinavia. Finland will be expanding further into these areas. It's alright, really, expanding into this bit. It's a lot of lakes. However, lakes mean water. Animals congregate around lakes. It's going to be relatively good land for growing stuff. I mean, it might be quite swampy. However, at least it'll be sufficiently irrigated. So the Finns have an alright time expanding into this area. And more of Scandinavia and the Nordic area is being discovered as they slowly move towards Karelia, which I'm sure they're actually doing. Karelia is like this bit, and then Ingrid is this bit, at least in my books, that is. Yeah. So, this is Lake Ladoga, I think. So they're going around there because it's a pretty big lake. There's probably loads of fish in there. And these guys are expanding quite rapidly, as various people in Eastern Europe and Nordic countries are actually leaving to go here, as well as even in the Terracotta Nation. People are leaving to go here because it's pretty peaceful. You know, there's not much aggression here. Sounds like modern day Finland, although aren't like death rates for unhappy people quite high in Finland? That's what I heard. It was like a lot of unhappy people in Finland just died, so it's really happy. But yeah. Anyway, as for the other Nordic Scandinavian countries, Norway will be making a huge voyage up the Norwegian coast. You know, people just kind of got bored. They went, great, it's a load of mountains. I can't be bothered trudging through all this. So they took a shortcut and sailed all the way up here and made it to this island chain before settling a new colony of sorts all the way up here by the Arctic Circle. So that was fun. However, they are getting pretty far in exploring lots of Scandinavia, so it's cool. I like exploring Scandinavia. That's 39. There we go. Yeah, Norway. Cool. And now this entire swathe of land down here is explored, which is pretty good. And they have a quite big country. They're also going to be making a... Is this the same? Yeah, it is. Major city up here, just so you know, they can trade supplies between this one up here that's been here for ages and this major city over here. So that's where most of the people live. However, they are going to expand their settlements across this northern coast. Likewise, Sweden will be doing more expansion around Sweden. Wow. No, they're going to North America. 40. Indigo. That's what it has Sweden's colour detail as. I like the colour indigo. I don't know what the terrain in Sweden's really like. I know it's cold. That's great. But that's about it, really. I don't know if there's mountains in Sweden. Probably are. If Norway just took all the mountains for themselves. But yet the Swedish aren't really expanding that much. And that's because they're fine just centralizing on their own stuff. And going like, oh, let's just focus on this. However, the Norwegians are just really desperate to find some actually good land. And there are quite a few people going to Norway. As you know, the population hasn't been that huge for a very long time. And that means there's lots of free jobs open. And the exploration is quite exciting to people. Especially British people, who are having a horrible time in Britain. because there's loads of people killing each other. There's even some berserkers fleeing from Britain and going to the Orange Country in Ireland. Speaking of Ireland, Purple Country. You're going to do an act of aggression, declaring war on the Green Country in the Dublin area. What colour is Ireland? I don't know. Ireland's green. I'm really bad at remembering these colours. I'm sorry. I'll get better at it. I'm sorry. I think it's green to 55. No, I know this one. What is it? I'm stupid. So the Irish country is caught completely by surprise as the Purple Country make an advance into their western areas and manage to take it over. They agree to peace quite quickly, and the Purple Country just annexes all the stuff they took. But yeah, it's not looking great for the Dublin dudes. It's a bad title. Anyway, talking about Britain, they're still warring at the moment. As we can see, more wars break out. That was masterfully pronounced. We see the Pink Nation going to war with this, whichever colour that one is, and they advance up here to the northern areas. However, we also have the Green Welsh Country doing some stuff, as they make an advance towards the Liverpudlian area. I think this is the right shade. I'm going to say it is. So they manage to capture the entire Liverpool bit and get extremely close to capturing the Lilac Country's capital before the Lilac Country agrees to peace with both nations. So Wales is getting some stuff back, and other Wales is getting some stuff back. What? Oh, Lilac, yeah. The Lilac Country is going to take its anger out on the blue one, where they take a whole load of their land. In the north, Blue Country was quite large a while ago, however now they're just sad. You know, poor Blue Country. The Lilac Country didn't even gain that much from going to war with them, so it wasn't that great. This Dark Blue Country is going to end up at war with East Anglia and Kent. So East Anglia makes a good push for their capital, however they can't get it, but they do take lots of this land, whilst Kent is able to siege the capital and take that. The southern British country, English one, this red one, also makes an attack on the Dark Blue Country, who manages to push the Kent one back a bit. However, Kent manages to still take their capital, and they're looking a lot smaller. So probably being in the centre isn't a good idea. These guys don't have a coastline, which means they can't trade. Yeah, that's how coastlines work. I mean, they could, if they walk through other people's land though. And they wouldn't let you in this extremely hostile environment that is Britain. So, yeah, East Anglia is going to get some land. They're probably one of the richer British nations at the moment, seeing as they are in very close proximity to the Dutch country, who they trade with a lot. Seeing as the Dutch country has a few cities over here, powered by the water, and also British trade, just like sheep, I suppose. The British economy at the moment is basically New Zealand, sheep and cows. I don't know if there's that many cows in New Zealand, but we're gonna say there aren't now. Anyway. Yep. Kent. Yeah, these borders look horrible. I have to stop this at some point. It's getting pretty horrific looking. However, I can't do anything about it. And the Blue Country has to relocate its capital to the center of its state. The Red Country as well. Yep. So Britain looks slightly different now. And we even see the blue. The Grey Country goes to war with Brown Country, and in a surprise attack in the northern areas, the Grey Country actually manages to annex a few areas from the Brown Country, because, you know, they don't have many economic zones up here, whilst the grey country really has everything up here. So yeah, it's a good surprise attack from the grey country, and after they agreed to stop fighting. After they agreed to stop fighting, they annex a significant amount of brown team territory. So they're looking a lot better now. And the brown team's looking pretty sad. But, you know, they'll probably make a comeback. They'll be fine. Anyway, we've just had quite a lot of war before, and I think it's time for more war, as we move over to Persia. The red team, the lime team, decided to gang up on this random Iranian country, who's pretty much done absolutely nothing the entire time. You know, the red team, they're having a bout of aggression at the moment. It kind of proves to everyone, oh look, we demolished a really a reasonably strong country recently. Be scared. And after the lime team suggested the idea of invading the Iranian one, the red team's like, sure, let's do that. So, red team and lime team troops make their way into the country. You know, Indians find it quite easy. They just push into these undeveloped eastern areas that have recently been added to the country. Whilst the red team comes up a bit of opposition as they make their way towards this major city. They go along the coast by bombarding them with stuff, and it's going pretty well. The green team is even going to think about joining as a major city up there that they would quite like. The lime team makes a spearhead to separate the two major cities over here, which goes quite successfully, as there is absolutely no way the immense Iranian country would be able to defend themselves from these two really strong powers. The red team is going to end up grabbing this major city down in the south, which they actually used to own and created. So, reclaiming stuff for the red team, which is cool. And then they carry on their advance in the north, as they make their way towards separating this country, and hopefully encircling that area. However, the green team is going to move in and declare war and take that stuff. The lime team and the green team work together on this northern bit, and the lime team managed to get some stuff down here whilst the green team takes this bit. After that, some more advances are made into the interior of the country. The lime team manages to capture this city. You know, the red team captures this one, and in the end they agree to peace. So let's look at that peace treaty, where the Iranian country will be surviving. However, the condition that they survive in, it's not good. As I was saying, surrounded by world powers is not good fun at all. So yeah, it was a very one-sided fight. The Iranian country pretty much lost every single battle they fought in within that war, and yeah, it's pretty sad. But the green team's feeling happy, so that's cool. I quite like the green team. They're one of my favourites. I think the red team's weird looking, a bit like Germany. You know, remember the German Empire? I remember the German Empire. You had those Prussia borders in Poland. I quite like those borders. I'm not sure I can say I like the German Empire. The first one. The one with African colonies. That wasn't good either. Germany didn't do some good things with their empire. That's just how we're gonna put it. Before we just stop this topic. It's not a chance. Actually, red team's not taking that state. They're going to take this one down the south with their city that they liked. And the lime team's going to capture this one. And I think we're going to partition a few of the remaining ones because this looks a bit weird. Yeah, they can't leave the Iranian country fully crippled. However, they'd like to. So the red team is going to take this. The lime team's going to take this, as well as this stuff. And yeah, pretty huge for these empires. Land here isn't amazing. I mean, one day Iranian land isn't amazing. You've got Tehran, which is all the way up there. That's the good bit. The rest of it's a bit rubbish, to be honest. I think that is what I want to look like. They're a much smaller blob. This is sad. But there you go. Which colour is that? Yeah, that's right. Just one hole in the borders, and it all goes wrong. It's so annoying. Yeah. So, this didn't help the mid team's position at all. They're still surrounded by global powers. However, these global powers feel less of a need to invade the country, and it's just a lot poorer at the moment. The brown team, in complete fear of the lime team at the moment, is going to make a huge expansion mission into the east as they cross into this area. There's like a huge desert over here somewhere. However, they make their way into Bangladesh and the Bengali area and capture most of that stuff. So now they've made themselves into a pretty huge country. However, the land here, it's unsettled, and I mean, who are they trading with over here? Because there's no nations around here in Southeast Asia. You've got nations in East Asia, but like Southeast Asia hasn't been discovered. They've probably seen the coast of Myanmar. They might have seen the Nicobar Islands. What's that island? Andaman Islands. That's the island chain. But they don't know Taiwan exists yet. So they're really not making that many developments in Southeast Asia yet. But they will eventually. However, when they actually discover that it's just a huge jungle, they might just not go there. That would maybe be my idea. This grey country, you can't really see them. I looked at one of my videos, and you can't see these guys, so I made them slightly darker. Did change the colour of these two countries because I didn't like their colour. So, I suppose. Although I think I've just gone and forgotten what I changed them to. So, we do have a slight problem in that. Let's just try and remember. As they expand further into China. That's right, there we go. See, trust in yourself. The borders aren't fun to look at. But they discover this huge area around here, and another by the Korean and the Grey Country. The Grey Country is relatively strong-ish, as the trade routes in East Asia are becoming very prominent. There's a lot of people traversing these trade routes, and yeah, it's tightly packed. The major cities out here, they're going to be appearing, but not quite yet. They haven't entirely got around doing stuff here. But there's a lot of things you can get in this area, and they're going to be capitalizing that and turning their nations into some pretty rich places. This looks, yes, two complete guesses. That was good. That was skillful. This country is going to be expanding further into the interior of its South Chinese area, and these nations are now both pretty big and poor. Yeah. I mean, there's a few people starting to make their way down into China, and by the time of the end of this episode, there's going to be a lot of people making their way down into China for stuff like tea. Everyone likes tea, don't they? You like tea? Tea's cool. I had like 3 cups of tea today. I need help. Serious help. Oh god. Now what? Is this right? I'm too good. It's too good. The Koreans will be, last time they discovered Japan, and that was pretty major, they're going to be doing more expansion into the Japanese region, and they managed to consolidate the control over this island, so Korean colony, I suppose. That's cool. they managed to expand further into some of these islands and make their way into some of the neighbouring islands, such as Honshu, that's this one. There's Hokkaido, that's like the northern one, and that's about all that I know. 33 million here. People in this bit. That's well, 36 million, isn't it? It's a lot of people in Tokyo. It's more than like half the population of Britain. Tokyo's crazy. Anyway, the Koreans expand their control over Japan, and even I discovered this area is called Amur. I like that. That's a cool name. It's a fun name. That is a beautiful color. I like that color. Not this green. I mean, I was on the color selection thing, and it was like this really cool purplish blue thing. I'll tell you what. Look, I'm not getting distracted. Don't worry. This is a wonderful color. I like this a lot. Anyway, so if a country becomes that color, you can safely assume that it will last for the entire series, and will just control everything. Yeah, I basically turn my favorite colors into cool things. The Sakhalin country will consolidate its control over Sakhalin, and they've captured the entire island now, because I think it's probably slightly better than what they've got in the rest of their country. You know, it's an island, you've got winds blowing in, and then winds carry heat sometimes. I don't know what I'm yapping about. However, as the explorers make it to the southern part of Sakhalin, you know, they're just checking around for more islands. There's quite a lot of islands in this bit. And some guys see this island down here, this small one. And from there, they find this slightly bigger temple-looking island. And then from there, they find this other, you know, like, pretty small island over here. And they make their own colony on this area. So, you know, they do some more exploring, and they discover this relatively small island over here is actually a pretty big island. And now there's a race between Korea and Sakhalin to see who can capture this bit, although they don't entirely know it's the same thing. But they know, there's a bit up here, and there's a bit down here. There's probably a bit that connects it all. The Koreans are going to use some of their time expanding here, as will the Sakhalin dudes as they expand more into the interior of this area. So, nice. Korea, I want to make sure its borders look good. I think I'm going to completely fail the Koreans, however, and just make it like a pirate hat. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But yeah, these countries are going to become the catalyst for exploration of East Asia. So that's cool. Because East Asia is very important, and we've even got people from Europe making the trek all the way to this area because they like it so much. I don't know. Just do. You've got some people going to Finland, and then you've also got some people making it all the way to the steppes of East Asia. Also, the green team looks like a block. Very blocky green team you've got. Just realised, just before the end of this episode, Crimea, you're not doing much recently. You're meant to be strong. Do something. So they're going to expand further into this area. Towards this grey country, who they got meh relations with. The grey country has been modernising a bit recently. They've been getting more up to date with the times. But they're still pretty unmodernised. You know, they've got people just wearing furs. So these guys got like hoses. Not like a garden hose, but if you know any German words, or read any medieval books, it's like trousers, but for people in the Dark Ages. While these guys are just wearing like Wolverine furs and stuff. So they're not entirely up there, but they're getting there, because trade routes, just before we ended off, because trade routes are becoming very important at the moment. Sorry, I'm going to finish it now. Nope. Got one that travels all the way in the northern bit. I can't talk. All in this northern area, they go around here, probably the Latvia a bit, and up into here. Whilst there's another estuary of it, I want to say for some reason. It goes down into Crimean capital, along this bit, along here, and it crosses this way. Whilst you can also go through the brown country and go this way, or just connect up this. The green country has an awful lot of trade routes that run through its country, if you didn't realise. So, the green country are loving that economy that it brings them with that. Also got more stuff around southern Europe, crossing the Pyrenees Mountains is tricky. However, some people have done it in the name of trade. People like doing stuff for trade. And lots of Europe is mapped out in terms of trade routes. So that's cool. I mean, you've got the Alps. That's a problem. And then you've got the Alps and literally everywhere else. You've got the Balkan Alps. It's like the Bosnian Alps. Just loads of other Alps. I don't know what I'm talking about now. Anyway, that's about it for the video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. No, enjoyed it. Please enjoy the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment. Be happy. I don't know. Have a nice rest of your day, and I will see you again next time for another video of History Rewritten. Bye.